Welcome back. Thank you for joining me again for more jazz from New York. The reason for more, an unexplainable glitch happened. The last program on New York disappeared. I don't know what happened, but it doesn't matter. New York, the jazz capital of the world, has so much great material to offer. I was there 5 years, from 85 to 90, and thank you, God Almighty, not only did I do well, I made it. Got great credits, and I like to say, in the words of Jack Webb, no ego trip, just the facts, ma'am. Tommy Flanagan welcomed me. If you go on my website, www.larryvuckovich.com, on the home page it mentions I played a duet with Tommy Flanagan in the East Bay before I moved, and he welcomed me, would announce me on the mic, and a great other bebop pianist, Barry Harris, did the same. So I had a great fortune, 5 years playing with the great musicians. And the vibe in New York, something, really something. Well, the first tune, I'll explain the complete meaning in a few minutes. Jive at 5. One word explanation for jive means jive in rhythm, swing in rhythm, and there's another one, and I will tell you about that. Count Basie piano. What an experience I've had. I was accompanying Basie's great vocalist Joe Williams at the Great American Music Hall 1978. Before the big band started, we did a very nice set playing for Joe Williams with my trio. And on the break, it was an honor to meet Count Basie. I kissed his hand. All the years of contribution that he did. And interesting thing about Basie, there were a lot of good big bands, but none of them had the dynamics like Count Basie. Basie never used a mic on a piano. They wanted to band the band to come down to match his low spots, soft and loud. So when Basie would solo, the volume would come down so you can hear his notes. And Basie is a perfect example of single notes, less is more, also leaving space. Those were the days. Sometimes, I know John Coltrane, when he came later, he was experimenting and he was playing the sheets of sound, filling up the bar with million notes. Well, he was experimenting. But then some young people learning overdid it, used that as an example. There would be no space in the bar, loaded. But the real music is balance. That's what the real music. Now, the other word for jive means when you're not telling the way it is, you're jiving, you know. You're making up stuff that is not real. And there was a sign at the Trident in the late 60s. They had great music, but when the music stopped, the owner would have some interesting statements. One of them was reflecting on the political situation. He would say they are shuck and jive. Now, you go back to New York, Autumn in New York, the signature song. Who wrote it? Vladimir, actually American name Vernon Duke. That's not the true name. The real name was Vladimir Dukelsky, Ukrainian Jewish cat who wrote great material. I'll tell you about it in a minute. Autumn in New York. A little sip of my Turkish coffee. got off to tune a little bit, have to concentrate all the time. I'm dealing with a lot of different tunes, but when I'm concentrating, I'm fine. But overall, I think you got the feeling. Vernon Duke also wrote April in Paris, and his harmonies also I can't get started. He has a set of sophisticated harmonies that are moving in logical direction, chromaticism and everything. He was ahead of his time. He got a degree from the University of Kiev in the old Russia, and he wrote chamber work, symphony, very schooled musician, but he had a great sense of melody for beautiful standards. And the great bebop pianist Barry Harris said standards are perfect. Interesting things about Vladimir Dukelsky, Vernon Duke. He also wrote the lyrics. The other composer was Irving Berlin. But check this out. Part of the lyrics are New York. He mentions canyons of steel. I'm home. I tell you, as I mentioned, I was there 5 years walking in the canyons of steel. I don't know what to tell you. It felt so relaxing to me. The culture, you could feel all the great past, Bud Powell, Charlie Parker. Canyons of Steel, I'm Home. And one of the better recordings is Charlie Parker Orchestra with strings and brass, Autumn in New York. And in New York you have beautiful colors in autumn, Central Park. A phenomenal place. Well, let's move on. Well, one thing I guess I could mention, we're a little bit into the program. I'm not a tech guy. I have to pay somebody to set up the microphones, the sound. So on the side of the piano, you can see it right on the screen. There are 3 ways to leave tips. It's all there. PayPal, Venmo, and Zelle, whatever you can do, thank you, keeps it going. As they say in jazz, thank you for giving a little bread. So, next, New York, yeah, Groovin' High, based on the wonderful old standard from the late 20s called Whispering. I'll play the melody of Whispering, and on that format, harmonical format, Groovin' High works. This Dizzy wrote, so on those changes, Groovin' High fits beautifully. He and Charlie Parker recorded it. Dizzy recorded this, let me see, about 45, he and Charlie Parker. And around that time, there was a great bebop composer and pianist, Tadd Dameron. He wrote Lady Bird, Hot House, based on What Is This Thing Called Love. Beautiful ballad, If You Could See Me Now. And Tadd Dameron developed a movement of harmony in between, from one chorus going to the end, to the next one. And also at the very ending, I'll play what he did at the very end. He did some chromatic modulation just as the phrase was going to end, but really inventive and colorful. So that's one example. The genre of bebop brought the swing era music to another level with more sophisticated rhythms and improved harmonies, made it more exciting. This time we go to another New York autumn theme, Autumn Serenade. The composer Peter DeRose wrote a unforgettable standard, Deep Purple. This tune comes from around 45. I think Deep Purple was written before, and it's called Autumn Serenade. And it works well when you give it slight Latin tinge. And I'll tell you in a minute what we're going to do with it at Yoshi's in May. May 13th at Yoshi's, I will have a phenomenal ensemble. And speaking of phenomenal, we're featuring a 19-year-old teenager, young Chinese-American lady, Skylar Tank, who plays bebop trumpet, any other style. She'll be there. Great saxophonist Steve Heckman will be there. Hector Lugo will provide the Latin beat on this tune. And the wonderful vocalist Jamie Davis will sing it with a Latin feel. It comes from the later recording from the library of John Coltrane and Johnny Hartman. They do this song, Autumn Serenade, with a Latin beat. So that's May 13th at Yoshi's. If you like to be on my mailing list, www.larryvuckovich.com. My email is my name, larryvuckovich@gmail.com. So, next, another ballad that made it big. Bill Evans, based in New York, had a great hit recording this at the Village Vanguard, My Foolish Heart, written by one of America's great composer, lesser known, but as good as anybody. Victor Young was born in 1910. His mother died in Chicago. His mother died 1910 when he was 10. His father, another great musician, sent him to Europe to study at the Warsaw Academy. He became a concert violinist, played all over Europe, played for the Russian Tsar, command performance. Bolsheviks came and they put him in jail because he played for the Tsar. I mean, he's a musician. So he somehow escaped from jail. Nobody knows how. Probably you pay. He made his way back to America. 1931 was his first big hit, the film The Mummy. And Mummy had a romantic element in it. The Mummy came back. He fell in love with a young woman who resembled past life, and beautiful tune, beautiful love. So Victor Young did so many tunes, nominated for staggering 22 Academy Awards. This is My Foolish Heart. Victor Young won. He was nominated 22 times. He won for Around the World in 80 Days, a waltz, a beautiful melody. However, when you look at the tunes that jazz musicians loved, like this one, and Miles Davis recorded Stella by Starlight, one of the biggest phenomenal jazz hits. Those tunes are on a more sophisticated level, so, but he won for Around the World in 80 Days and wrote many film scores. Just an amazing writer, Victor Young. Now we go to another composer whose music was high on New York scene, another one with a foreign connection. This gentleman, Kurt Weill, escaped Hitler. He came to America just before things got bad. While in Germany, he wrote, let's see, oh yeah, he wrote Mack the Knife, Maki das Messer, I forgot the name of the show. And simple tune but effective. Sonny Rollins did a great recording called at Moritat. And then he wrote in the late 30s, Knickerbocker Holiday, Walter Houston singing September Song. And then 43 or 45, this classic, Speak Low. First in a Broadway musical, then in a film, Speak Low. sophisticated harmonies, moving beautifully, changing keys. Those were the days. Phenomenal composers. And as I say, there must be some stuff today, but the way the music business is, people in charge are pushing. Imagine Academy Award winning this. Simple Triads, those are some of the Academy Award tunes, of course based in different rhythm, little pop beat, but that's the way it is. Things go in cycles. I hope it'll come back again. 30s, 40s, 50s, and so on, great era in films and music and everything. Hopefully it'll be back. Next, New York. How can you be in New York without Thelonious Monk? He was a very deep person. Jim Hall, great guitarist, runs into him midtown. Hey, Monk, what's new? He said there is nothing new under the sun. Anyway, this is round about midnight. before I give you a little info on this, I forgot to mention when I played Groovin' High, Dizzy, how brilliant he was. We was always on top of things, wide awake. I played with Dizzy and Jon Hendricks and James Moody in Buffalo at the Royal Arms, and a Canadian doctor as kids learning jazz, so he invited us across the border to Ontario to his home for a jam session. More water? When we get to Canadian border, the Canadian guard looks at Dizzy. He said, "American?" Dizzy said, "Half." That's how he felt. Then, in the 40s, as he was tested in the induction going to the army, Dizzy said, "If you give me a gun, I may shoot the wrong person. 4F home." Yeah, it was something. This was written first for the Cootie Williams, trumpet player who left Duke for temporarily, formed his own band. And the year was, I think, 44, let me see, yeah, 44. And the band included young Bud Powell playing great piano, included Cleanhead Vincent, great blues singer and bebop alto, who wrote two famous tunes, For and Tune Up that Miles ripped. So that was a great band. So that was a thing about around midnight, that band. Now, one of the best recordings of this solo piano, for my taste, a pianist who died way too young, Albert Daly. He was in the era Herbie Hancock, Kenny Barron, and whoever were the young pianists. To me, he was my favorite. Listen to his version of Round Midnight. It's rhapsodic, it's creative, mix of classics and bebop. Albert Daly. Now, couple quick ones to round it out. 20th Century Fox films. Composer Alfred Newman, not to be mixed with the Mad Magazine, Alfred E. Newman. This is Alfred Newman. Wrote beautiful film scores, and he wrote this theme, street scene. Film noirs like Dark Corner, Kiss of Death, 1948 film Cry of the City, 1952 Where the Sidewalk Ends, always had this theme starting the movie. And here is Street Scene. if you get a chance, go to YouTube and put the other subtitle is Sentimental Rhapsody. Beautiful string arrangement. This tune is typical late night New York, and I gave it more bluesy touch. I recorded it on the album Street Scene. It's been remastered into a digipack trio version with Larry Grenadier on bass and Akira Tana. Street Scene. We better conclude one more. This Satin Doll. Now, who is Satin Doll written for? Billy Strayhorn. He dedicated it to his mom, who was a beautiful lady, wrapped in satin. However, when it hit the market, Johnny Mercer wrote the lyrics, totally changed the mood, like a nightclub tune. And the lyrics he used, cigarette holder which wigs me, out cattin' that satin doll, nothing to do with the elegant mother of Billy Strayhorn. Here is Satin Doll. Thank you so much. And the end of the program, if you see the side of the piano, I'm not a tech guy. I have to hire a technician to set up the mics, sound, whatever tips you can leave to keep the program happening. Thank you very much. And I'll be back next Saturday. If you'd like to be on my list to know what's going on, send me an email. Thank you.
Click dismiss already?
Is that okay now?
Okay, yeah.